So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to actually move on now with my show, and I'm going to start a little bit of a personal journey, tell you my story as a juggler. When I first learned juggling, the first thing that I really got into was the diabolo, and I'm very proud of my diabolo skills. But of course, where most people begin juggling is where most people begin, is with the 3 balls, and that's of course where I turn to next. 3-ball juggling. It's the most basic things that you can do with juggling, and so there I was back maybe 17 years ago, and I was there at my local juggling club, just practicing just the basic 3-ball skills, dropping a few times like that, as I'm wont to do. And my juggling teacher came up to me, and my juggling teacher was a few years older than me. His name was Nigel Green, and Nigel said to me, "Luke, let me show you my new 3-ball juggling trick." And I said, "Nigel, show me your new 3-ball juggling trick." And so he showed me a trick, and it looks a little bit like this. And I was like, "Wow, Nigel, real cool. What do you call that trick?" And he said, "Luke, it's called a 4-4-1 penguin behind the back catch cross 4 squeeze." And I was like, "It's what?" He said, "It's a 4-4-1 penguin behind the back catch cross 4 squeeze." And I was like, "Nigel, I don't understand anything you just said there." And of course, from the look of the audience that I can see, you don't understand what I said either. So Nigel, he told me, "Look, here is the key to 3-ball juggling. This is the secret." He said, "Every throw has a name. Every catch has a name. Every pattern has a name. And every trick has a name. And you combine them in different ways, and you come up with new throws, new catches, new patterns, new routines." And I said, "Okay, explain further." So he said, "Okay, let me start off with the throws." Okay, he says, when you throw it from one hand to the other, it's called a cross. When you throw it behind your back, it's called a back cross. I was like, oh, starting to make sense. He says that the numbers are quite easy as well. The higher the number, the higher the throw. The lower the number, the lower the throw. So a 1 is down here, and a 5 is all the way up there. And I was like, starting to make sense. He says, now the catches. Let me move on to the catches. He says, if you put your hand out in front of you like this, you're making like a fork kind of shape, and you catch it on the back of your hand, like that, on the back of your fingers, it's called a fork catch. He says, if you claw your hand like this, it's called a claw catch. He says, and when you throw it like this, it's called a penguin catch, because it makes you look like a penguin, you see, like a penguin. And I was like, this is interesting. And he says the squeeze catch is interesting as well, because they squeeze together in the air, so you throw 2 balls, and you catch them 2 balls at the same time in one hand, a squeeze. Starting to make sense. He said, finally, the patterns, okay? He says this is called a mess pattern. If you cross and uncross your arms, it's called a mess, because it looks like a complete mess. He says this one is called the yo-yo. He never explained why it was called the yo-yo, but I worked that one out myself. And he says, Luke, this is my favourite trick. And Nigel showed me his favourite trick. He said, it's called the juggling monster. And the juggling monster goes a little bit like this. That's quite interesting. Now, normally Nigel, he performed at like children's birthday parties and school assemblies, but I'm glad to see that the same material goes down just as well here on Holland America Line. So he says what you do, you take all these different elements, you put them together in different orders and things like that. So let me show you my new trick again. So Nigel showed me his new trick again, but this time he said what he did as he juggled it. He says it's called a 4-4-1 penguin behind the back catch, cross 4, squeeze. And it all started making sense to me. And so let me just take you now 17 years into the future to tonight, and I'm going to show you my full 2-minute 3-ball routine. Okay, but I'm not just going to do the juggling for you. No, I'm actually going to be talking along as I do it, throw by throw, catch by catch, trick by trick, pattern by pattern. But we're going to make it even more exciting for you this evening. So we're going to open the curtain behind me. We're going to bring the screen out. We're going to press play with the projector in a second, and yeah, we're going to have like a visual representation of what's going on at the same time, plus some specially written, specially composed music, and we're going to combine it all together. And so that means, ladies and gentlemen, by the end of this, you will know just as much about 3-ball juggling as I do. One second though, one final thing that I didn't explain before. One final element, one final maneuver that I sometimes like to slip into my routine spontaneously, just to keep you on the edge of your seats, and that is called the drop. Okay, if you're really lucky, you might see me do that during this routine. Okay, I'm just covering my back, don't boo, don't boo. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here we go with a 3-ball and video routine. Let's go. Cross, 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 4-4-1, 4-4-1, cross, 4-4-1, 4-4-1, cross, 4-4-1, 4-4-1, cross, 3-3-3-3-3-3-3-3, 4-4-1, 4-4-1, back cross, 4-4-1. forward, 4-4, back cross, 4-4, 4-4, back cross, 4-4, 4-4, back cross, 4-4, 4-4, Mills mess, 4-4, 4-4, Mills mess, 4-4, 4-4, 4-4, 4-4, 4-4, 3-4, swap, 3-5, swap, swap, cross, 4 swap, 3-5, swap, swap, cross, 4 swap, 3-5, swap, swap, cross, 4 swap, 3-5, swap, cross, half shower, half shower, half shower, half shower, windmill, 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 shower, 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 3 in, 1 and back cross, 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 Mike's mess, Mike's mess, Mike's mess, Mike's mess, 5-3-1, 5-3-1, cross, lobotomy, 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 stop. Shh, it's not finished yet. 3-3-3, 3-3-3, 3-3, back, back, forward, 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 back, cross. 3-3-3, 3-3, 3-3-3, back, back, forward, 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 back. 3-3-3, 3-3-3, 3-3, back, back, forward, 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 back, cross. 3-3-3, 3-3, 3-3, 3-4, squeeze, 3-4, squeeze, throw, catch, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, ping, 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 throw, catch, throw, catch, 4, 4, 4, 4, ping, ping, hook, 4, 4, 4, ping, cross, 4, 4, ping, ping, 4, ping, cross, 4, 4, ping, ping, 4, ping, cross, 4, catch, 4, catch, 4, catch, 4, catch, back, 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 cross, phone cross, back 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 cross, swap, 3-5, swap, stop, 4 swap, 3-5, swap, stop, 4 swap, 3-5, swap, stop, 4 swap, 3-5, drop, drop, drop.